Okay, we are live. Welcome back, you guys, to our daily live feed. As always, if you would like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing for women. If you are logging on Instagram, we do have our YouTube feed up as well. We will be screen sharing over on YouTube as we preview our pro shows for this weekend. So if you don't know how to get over to our YouTube channel, it's really easy. Just go into, if you're on Instagram right now, go into our bio, our link tree, click on that. One of the videos up there at the top is one of our YouTube videos. Click on that. That'll take you to our channel. And then you just got to get into our channel and subscribe and click on the live. If you go in on the live over there, you can be on either platform, either one, whichever one works best for you. But if you're over on YouTube, then you can comment in and we will be doing some screen sharing as we start talking about these competitors and previewing this weekend's shows, which there are several. YouTube, yes, YouTube is where it's at, that's for sure. And if you haven't realized, so once these lives are over with, they do get reposted. So you can watch them on Instagram or you can watch them on YouTube. When you go back and you watch them on YouTube, you've got all of the videos up, you've got all the pictures up, and you've got all the comments up too. So this is quite literally a live show, and you get to participate. And it shows you participating. So it's pretty cool. Interactive live show. It's a thing. We had quite a few people on last night too for our live, for our wrap-up of Tampa. So tonight we have already quite a few over on YouTube coming in right now. We've got quite a few here on Instagram as well. So yeah, it's good times. I always give it just a few minutes for everybody to get on and get comfortable. And you are welcome to ask any questions or anything as we go along. But we will be previewing Texas, Pacific USA, and Tahoe. What's up, Karen? What's up? Welcome, you guys. So the question just came in if I'm competing again this year, and I am not competing again this year. So I am in off season. I need to grow some more glutes. I've had this conversation several times. I kind of wish I could compete one more time this year because both times that I competed this year, I got my period right afterwards. So I don't feel like I hit my full potential. But regardless of that, I still need to grow glutes, regardless of any kind of bloating or any kind of situation there. So it doesn't matter. Even if I came in my best condition, it still is not going to be good enough. So I need to get some density going on, which you guys follow me on my personal Instagram. I do go to Cool Contours a lot. And I just started back with him again for another round of sessions. So I started that back up on Tuesday. I go again tomorrow morning. So I'm going twice a week for 6 weeks. If you've never been cool toning before, it helps to activate those deep muscle fibers and grow that density in your glutes. So I'm working all angles, But yeah, goal is hopefully by early spring to be back on stage again, but it's going to be a matter of when my glutes are ready to do it. So trying to stay in relatively good condition, stay within, about 10 pounds of my stage weight, and so that we're good to go. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to start with, Tahoe, and then we will move our way through to Texas at the end, because Texas is actually the biggest show. We've got 2 divisions that we're going to preview on Texas. So let me go ahead and bring up the Tahoe list and share that. Okie doke. There we go. All right. So Tahoe is actually the smallest list of the pro lists, and it's a little bit off as well. For example, when I was going through and pulling out girls as far as who to be watching and things like that, Shelby Pierce is on this list, but she's actually doing Texas. Same thing with Jody Yunker. Jody Yunker is on this list, but she is also doing Texas. So I don't know if that was just a mistake in the office or whatever, but they are definitely not. I checked their Instagrams. They're both doing Texas. They're not doing Tahoe. So So they are not on this list as far as people that are potentials for this particular title. This was a big show last year. This show was where Ashley Kaltwasser went head to head with Erin Stern, both previous Miss Olympias, just in 2 different categories. And Erin Stern actually pulled out the win at this one. This was her first bikini win. For those of you that don't know, Erin Stern won the Figure Olympia title twice. So this was actually her first first bikini pro win. So what do you mean by both, Devin? Elaborate on that. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So just elaborate on that comment. Devin, we're going to get to you too, because you are competing this weekend. Yes. So with that, I pulled out a few girls I think to be paying attention to. This Tahoe show. Texas is on Friday and Tahoe on Sunday. So maybe they're pulling Ashley. Oh, you know what? That's true. I didn't even think about that. Oh my goodness. Oh, they are. They're pulling an Ashley. Okay. So that changes my thoughts. That changes my thoughts. I got what you guys are saying. Both Shanika and Devin came in and bringing up the possibility, and obviously what they are doing is Shelby and Jody are going to do back-to-back shows. So Ashley did this last year. She went and did yeah, I guess so. So I just thought I went and checked their Instagrams. They both said Texas. So I'm assuming they're doing Texas, jumping on a flight and then going to Tahoe. So that's totally doable. That's exactly what Ashley Kaltwasser did last year. So yeah. So, okay. Well, then in that case, we're going to add those 2 on here. I already have them pulled up for Texas, but we'll go ahead and talk about them here in Tahoe too. Wouldn't that be cool? If like one of these 2 girls won this show and won the Texas and then also won Tahoe, that would be kind of cool. So, all right. So that changes my predictions, you guys. All right. That's okay. I still have them pulled up anyway, because I haven't for the Texas show pulled up. So let's go through our list here. So the first one I'm going to pull up is Jordan. So Jordan just competed in Tampa. So she is obviously she's been getting top call outs every show. Been really close. So top 3 spots, top 5 spots, that kind of thing. So she was first call out at Tampa. I think she placed 7th in Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 7th. Let me click back and I can tell you for sure. Pretty sure it was 7th. Yeah, she was 7th in Tampa. So I do have her on the list here as the potential for this title. I do think she'll be in first call out regardless. So I think she's one to be watching here. Again, she's been consistently in first call outs all season. So it's just gonna be a matter of when she hits a show that she can pull out that win. She's getting those points, all those kinds of stuff. So this was her in Tampa. First time I saw her on stage was DC Pro-Am, and she just had a really good look. I automatically was like, oh, she looks good. So yeah, this could be a good show for her. That could be a potential right there. So there's the first girl that I pulled out. I also did pull out Hope Harper. So Hope just competed. The last time she competed was the Patriots Pro right here this year. I don't know where she placed. Let me click back and see what her placing actually was here. Hope was 8th in this show, but she's been in the top 5. She's another one to be watching. Probably just needs a little bit more size. That's kind of what I've critiqued her on before. She's a little bit small. Let's see. You can pull up a shot from Patriots. I didn't actually look at her. Like, I didn't review Patriots Pro because I was competing that same weekend. So I actually didn't review Patriots. So let's see. Go ahead and pull up one of these shots, these back shots here, and I'll share that. Might as well, since we're here. There we go. Okay, so here's her back shot. Yeah, just to me, she looks a little bit top heavy right here, to be honest with you. So maybe just a little bit adjustments in the back pose. Probably posed this way because that's probably the way her glutes look the best. But if I'm looking at it just, from this one shot here, she does look a little top heavy, but I think she still probably just needs a little size. But who knows? This could be her show too. Again, she's hit those top 5s She did really well at the Legends, I believe, or Legion. I was saying Legions this past fall. So I did pull her up as one to be watching potentially for this show. Let's see what we got here. Pull that next one back up. The list. There we go. Okay, so that's Hope. Adriana, she is a previous Olympian. Has been doing okay since she got back on stage this year. Not quite conditioned enough, that kind of thing. So she's probably starting to hit a stride right about now. So I would definitely be watching for her because she has won several shows in the past. She's gone to Olympia twice. So this is what I'd be paying attention to. I think she just recently switched coaches and things like that too. So who knows what she's gonna be doing a little bit better at this show. This would be one to watch as well that I did pull up. Let's see. So then I would also say that Shelby is one to be paying attention to in this show for obvious reasons. She has been top fives all season. I did pull her up for Texas. So let me pull her picture up real quick and share that for you guys so you can see Shelby. There she is. All right, so there's Shelby. Again, she's been getting top fives, top twos all year. I think she was second call out in Tampa. She just looked a little bit tired in Tampa. So to me, it was just like she needed a little bit more pop to her frame, that kind of thing. So maybe a little week of relaxation could have helped with that. I know she's so close to getting a win here, you guys. I know it's tough. She's trying to get that win out, getting points pretty much almost every show she's going into. She's getting points, but I'm sure she doesn't want to qualify in points. She wants to just get that win to solidify her space. So hopefully she got herself back to this condition. This was a really good package for her actually here at the Republic of Texas. And we'll see how it plays out for her in Tahoe. And then obviously she's going to be doing Texas as well. So she's definitely one to be looking for in Tahoe. Let's go back to list here again. And we're going to go. So I did pull up actually Emily Parrish because I wanted to give her a quick shout out. She hasn't been on stage in a little bit, but I wanted to give her a shout out because I've been working with her on her posing for this show. So this is her first time back in a while, a couple years. Put on quite a bit of size. Her posing is so much better, if I do say so myself, but I wanted to give her a little bit of a oomph power shout out for her going into this show, coming back, and I want to see her kill that show, and then I'll see her in person too at Nashville. So that's her next show on the list. So I would definitely wanted to give her a little bit of props right there. And then lastly, we are going to talk about Jody because Jody is also doing this show. Apparently, we're doing some back-to-backs, you guys. So this is Jody. Jody's another one who has been, top fives all year, basically. She was first call out at Tampa. I can't remember exactly the placing. I think she was 7th, 8th, something like that. But right in that top, she was in that top call out. So she was out just outside the top 6. There we go. So here is Jody. So Jody, again, she's been really close. Both her and Shelby are kind of like in that, and Jordan too, really. All of these girls in this particular lineup have been fighting for that top spot. They've been getting those first call outs every show they go into. It's just a matter of kicking up and over that win. So it'd be nice to see one of them take this win home. You know what I mean? Like that would be nice to see. Get them so they can rest up for Olympia, right? Rest up for Olympia. So where are we at here? That was this one. So if I had to pick somebody for Tahoe, I don't know, man. I feel like it's going to be really tight between Shelby, Jody, and Jordan. I think the 3 of them will probably be your top 3. And it will be tight. But this is a Sunday show, right? So the other ones are Saturday. This one's Sunday. So this will be after the Texas show. This will be the last show of the weekend. So it'll be interesting to see how Shelby and Jody do with going from back-to-back shows. I like that though. That's fun. That's fun to watch. I like when people do stuff that's a little out of the ordinary. So that's fun to watch. It was fun to watch Ashley do that last year. So what do you guys think? Who do you got for this show? Give it a second. Give me your thoughts for Tahoe. Tahoe's the last show of the weekend. Give me your thoughts. Who's going to take home the title here? I'm rooting for Shelby. Yeah, she's definitely been putting the work in this season. Shelby even did that last year. She came really close to qualifying through points last year. So it'd be nice to get a win for her here. She's come so close. Yes, you're biased. It's okay. I always tell people when I'm biased, it's okay. It's okay to be biased. You just have to admit when you're biased. That's all. I definitely admit when I'm biased. It is what it is. It's okay. It's all part of human nature right there. Rooting for Shelby for obvious reasons, but any of these three can really take it. Jody looks amazing too. Yeah, absolutely. They all do. It's going to be a matter of who shows up the best that day, really. And then who knows? I mean, there's lots of girls on this list that could come out and just shock us, like what happened in Tampa this past weekend with Amy just taking the whole thing, right? Never saw her coming, right? All right, so there's Tahoe. Let's move to Pacific USA. Let's do Pacific USA next. So Pacific USA, I actually competed in this myself a few years back. I'm the oldie of the group here. Yeah. So Pacific USA. So obviously on our cover here, Jasmine did win this last year, and she is going into to defend her title this year. But there are some girls coming up on her heels, so she's going to have to bring in her best possible package, right? So who did I pull up here? Let's see. There's Ivana. I think that's the first one I pulled up. I just have a random. Oh, I have the Tampa Pro up there. Okay. So I did pull up Ivana, who's the first one here. Let's talk about Malou first, Malou Duarte. So she's one to be watching. She has done pretty well this season. She's a very pretty girl. Small, teeny tiny little thing, but she's done very well. Let me see if I can find a good front shot of her and I can share that. There we go. Go ahead and share that for you guys. So I do think she's one to be looking out for at this particular show. I think she will probably be in that first call out. Beautiful girl. I believe, let me see, what did she place here in Texas? I can't remember what she placed. Let me click back for a second. Fourth. She placed fourth in Texas. So she could very well come into the show and take the title, no problem. This is going to be a tight show, you guys. And I think she's going to compare pretty well to these girls with her shape, her frame, and her being a tiny girl. She's probably going to compare well to Ivana too. So Ivana is actually the next one on my list. So let's go ahead and pull up Ivana. Now, obviously, Ivana just competed in Tampa. This is her spin that we talked about. This is the precarious spin move right there. But Ivana is always going to be a threat whenever she comes into a show. So, her issue in Tampa was she was a little bit too lean, had a little bit, had those glute striations, needed to clean up her posing a little bit. I would go back to the red suit that she used to have versus the purple, all the things we talked about last night. But she's going to be a threat regardless, coming into a show where she just placed top 3, right? Yeah, she was third. That if you're a top 3 contender, you're really close. You're really close. Now, when we look at the scorecards, we'll talk about this in a second. Jasmine and Amy were within 3 points of each other, I believe. So it was split. It wasn't like everybody had Amy in first and then Jasmine in second. It wasn't like that at all. It was actually pretty split. And then Ivana was definitely in third from there. But if she comes in a little bit fuller, she could definitely surprise us here in Pacific USA. And she did compete in this last year too. And she was top 4 in this last year too. Can't remember what placing she actually got last year. But she was in the top 4 this past year with this particular show as well. So Ivana is definitely one to be paying attention to too. And then, so we've got Jasmine up next, which obviously Jasmine just took second in Tampa. Needed to tighten up just a little bit in the glutes, which is exactly what she's doing. So I expect her to come in gunning for this win. She's changing up a little bit for this show. She's changing her posing a little bit, changing back to her OG green suit. So for those of you that don't know, when she won her pro card, she won it in the green suit that she's going to be wearing this coming weekend. So that green suit has gotten her through thick and thin, man. It's so funny. There was, what was it? It was, gosh, what was the name of the show? It was a huge show, and Edela actually won it. And it was 2 years ago. I can't remember the name of it. It was another California muscle contest show. It was 50 pros that were in that show. That was in that show. And the morning of the show, Jasmine sent me her posing to take a look at, and she was wearing her green suit just to wear it for the check-in that morning. And I was like, why don't you wear your green? And she did. And she wore her green, and she ended up in first call out in that huge lineup of very, very competitive girls. So that from that point on, she started wearing the green again. So yeah, so it's either green or red, Christmas colors, right? I love the green on her. I think the green is phenomenal on her. There's a reason why she won her pro card in it, that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see that. And she is coming in a little bit tighter this week, which is exactly what she needed to do. So she cleans all that up. And just is that 1% better? That could be the 1% that she needs in order to secure this win and defend her title and hit the Olympia this year, right? So we got Jasmine there. I love the green on her too. Yeah, me too. I love the green. Love the green. I also have, she's next, right? Yep, I have Peyton up next. So Peyton has done 1 or 2 pro shows. This was from when she won her pro card. Again, beautiful girl. Her pro debut, I believe, was Wasatch Warrior. Placed top 5 there. I think she just needed to be a little bit tighter, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly what my critiques were for her from Wasatch, but we haven't seen her on stage in a little bit, a few months. So I'm excited to see what she looks like. Another tiny girl. So we got a lot of little girls in this show. We've got her, we've got Ivana, and Malu that I just mentioned too. They're all relatively the same size. So probably who's going to place above each other is who shows up in the best condition that day, this coming weekend, right? So I definitely would say she's one to be watching going into this show. And then I have Amy, and I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody else that I wanted to talk about. I don't think I did. I think I got everybody. Amy, yeah. So Amy is the last one that I wanted to talk about, who obviously she just won Tampa. So that would be an obvious reason why we'd want to put her into that top 5 for sure. So let's see. We just gave her all of her critiques and stuff like that we talked about last night. So coming off of a win on a tier 2 show is definitely something to be paying attention to here. So don't know what her critiques were from the judges. So I'm sure that whatever her judging critiques were, she will be working on fixing those things for this show. So it's always a goal to come in a little bit better. So let's see what she does in order to improve. But like I said, you just come off of winning Tampa. You're obviously going to be talking about potentially continuing that winning streak. So she's also in that top mix for Pacific USA. Now, let's get rid of that and pull back up the list. There we go. So I'm going to be biased. I'm going to put Jasmine in first here for this particular show. What do you guys think? Type in who you think is going to be in the top 5, who you think is going to take this. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put Jasmine up in that top spot. I always want to see somebody qualify for the Olympia that's not qualified already anyway. So, of course, I'm going to put Jasmine in the top spot, of course. Like I said, I'm biased, just like we're talking about with Shelby for Tahoe. We're biased, right? So it is what it is. Not going to lie about it. But yes, Jazzy, right? Yeah, exactly. So I'd like to see her get the win. I just have a feeling this is Jazz's show. I do too. I think it is too. This is the show that she's been gunning for. Obviously, her first pro win was this show last year. So we want to see her defend that title and get that win again. So that's what I'm hoping for. No menstrual issues and can truly come in at her best. Yes, absolutely. 100%. And I think she's ready. I think this is it, so let's cross our fingers. And I'm hoping that she can take home the win and secure that Olympia qualification for her. Regardless, if she doesn't win this show, she's going to grab some more Olympia points, hopefully. Hopefully she's in the top 5. That'll help her get higher up on that point list and secure that spot too. So with that, I just hope that she's going to pull off this win. Everybody pulling for Jazzy. Yep, definitely pulling for Jazzy. So everybody, thoughts and prayers. Let's get that Olympic qualification right here for her. Let's move on to Texas. Texas is the big one. Let's see. Share that one. There we go. Okay, so in Texas, we're going to talk about both wellness and bikini. Now, we do have figure as well. Didn't even look at this really. Figure lineup. So I would say Larhana is probably the one to be watching right here, as well as, where is she? Autumn Cleveland right here. Those would be the ones I'd be paying attention to. Somebody help me out. Who was it that came in? And Jessica Reyes. Jessica Reyes Padilla. Here we go again. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it. There you go. There's your figure winner right there. Jessica Reyes Padilla. Let's just go ahead and get another win under the belt, right? She's going to be rivaling Ashley Kay for her number of wins, right? Jeez Louise. Okay. So there you go. There's your figure. Let's move on to, we'll do wellness next. This is actually a really good lineup of wellness girls. Right off the bat, we got Devin up here at the top. So where did I pull her? There she is. Okay. So we all love Devin. She's always here, right? So the show that we have up for Devin right here is Tampa Pro last year, which is where she qualified for the Olympia last year. Placing second here. I had her in first, but she placed second. I still had her in first. So this is Devin's first show back since the Arnold. Took a good little break there, got her body back to where it needed to be. And from the previews we've all been seeing, we believe this may be her best look yet. I definitely think she's going to be one to be paying attention to at this show and be watching. I personally, again, I'm biased. I personally have her in first. That's me. So I'm hoping for her Olympic qualification here personally. But as you guys know, I am biased. So it is what it is. So there's Devin. I'm excited to see her package at this show. Let's move to definitely bringing my best, of course. Yes. And with that, let's see if you can dethrone Diana. So Diana just won Tampa. So Diana's also going into the show as well. Obviously, she's coming in off of a win from Tampa. So I do think that the two of them are going to compare pretty well together because, again, they're both shorties, little girls. And just based on what I've seen, I think that Devin is a little bit bigger as far as muscularity is concerned, a little bit better conditioned. But we'll see. We'll see how they stack up next to each other. But I do think they're going to compare very well to each other. So I think this is going to be a good little matchup between the two of them. So it's always fun to come into a competitive show where you're up against somebody who has just won, because if you do well or beat them, then you get talked about, right? So she's another one to be watching for sure. I also have Lily Dong in here, who did place top 4 as well. She was what? She was 4th? Yes, she was 4th in Tampa. She was one that I mentioned needs to kind of iron out her posing a little bit. Just needs to fix a few little tweaks and things like that. We did talk about her yesterday. So she is another one to be paying attention to for sure coming into this, especially after just placing top 4. And again, she's a little shorty. So as you can see, these girls are all going to compare very well to each other. And speaking of, when we move over to the next one to be paying attention to, that would be Priscilla. And Priscilla just took second in Tampa, which is another shorty. So all of these girls that I pulled up here are all going to be comparing well to each other. So it's going to be a matter of who brings in the best look, best conditioning, best fit for the criteria for this show. And nobody in this lineup is really dominant. It's not like somebody that you're just going to say, oh, yeah, she's definitely going to win it. So I like that. That means it's going to be some really good judging going on, and I'm excited to see how this plays out. What do you guys think? Who do you guys have? Did I miss anybody that I should have talked about here, by the way, in the wellness lineup here? I think I got everybody that would be really paying attention to. You know, there's other girls, again, with wellness being so relatively new as far as the pro divisions are concerned. There's always the possibility of people coming in and upsetting the whole apple cart here. So it could be anybody's day. Zen. I don't know who she is. So let me pull her up real quick. Let me see if I just Google her really quickly. Oh, did she just win her pro card? She just won USA's, right? She just won the overall? Okay, so it's a pro debut, right? Am I right with that? Yeah. Okay, yeah, she just won the overall at USA's, right? At USA? Yeah, what's popping up is there's USA's. Let's see if this is her right here. Yeah. Her going into USA. She just won the overall. So yeah. So okay, so she's a pro debut. So it'll be interesting to see her with a pro debut. You know, Alexis just made a pro debut and did well. So stepping up into the big ranks, right? So okay, she's one to be looking for sure. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, let's go over to bikini to round us out. Let's see. There we go. So this is a pretty good lineup here. Starting out, first one on the list that we have is Deraja. So this was her Tampa last year. So those of you that watched our live stream last night, you saw her with her Tampa look from last night. This is her Tampa look from last year. This is the one that got everybody talking about her, right? So you can see it was quite a bit different from what she had at Tampa this year. This is the Deraja I'd like to see show up in Texas. Same suit color, the hair color, style, her physique being streamlined like this, all this kind of stuff. So hopefully her menstrual cycle stuff has calmed down so she can really bring in her best conditioning. Her critique here in Tampa was that she still had some distension in the lower abs and things like that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she actually was having some PMS symptoms and stuff like that too here in Tampa, but it was distension in the midsection was what her critique was in Tampa last year. A little softness, that kind of thing. Then she ended up bringing her best in for Olympia, where she placed 6th at the Olympia. So if we can see her look come closer to this in Texas, she's definitely going to be one to be watching for sure. And hopefully this will be her opportunity to take home a qualification for herself. Let's pull up. Oops, hit the wrong thing. Next, I have Roxana. This was the show that Roxana won in, was it 2021? Yeah, 2021. So she was she did win a pro show. I think she won 2 pro shows, actually. She just competed in Colombia, but there are no pictures for Colombia. I was looking for that. I think she took 2nd or 3rd in Colombia, something like that. So she did just compete a few weeks ago. But I don't have any photos from that one. So this was her last win. So she's definitely one to be paying attention to here. So she is qualified for the Olympia right now. But like I said, I don't really know what she looks like right now. I know Ivana won that Columbia show. She did not. She was, again, I think she was 2nd or 3rd. I'm forgetting what exact placing she was. But she's definitely one to be paying attention to in this Texas show, 100%. Especially since she is already qualified for Olympia right here too. Next one that I pulled up was Anya. Now, we haven't seen Anya on stage in a bit. She's been off stage for a while. But she's another one that last year was getting a lot of top fives, getting very, very close to qualifying for Olympia. Lots of points, that kind of thing. She has been off stage. I believe she needed to put size on, I think they said. I'm not really, I can't remember exactly what her critiques were. But from what I've been seeing from her preview posts, is she does look like she's put on some size. So I'm curious to see what she's going to look like on stage at this show. Again, she's typically in the top 5, so I'm expecting her to be in there in the mix for this show as well. And then obviously we've got Shelby, which we talked about before for Tahoe, and we've got Jody, which we talked about for Tahoe as well. So these two will also be going head to head here in Texas. So, looking at the list, I love that aspect that the two of them are doing the back-to-back shows, Shelby and Jody. If I'm pulling for somebody in here, oh wait, Jordan's in here too. Oh, I missed that. Totally missed that. So Jordan's doing this show as well as Tahoe too. So I missed that one. Jordan as well. Okay. So the 3 of them are doing back-to-back shows this weekend. They're probably traveling all together, right? So I think that the 3 of them will definitely be in that top. I expect to see Raja up in that top as well. I'll probably bump up a few spots from where she was in Tampa. Let's see if a week was enough time that she needed in order to get a little bit tighter from where she was in Tampa. And then Roxana in that mix as well. I think this is going to be a very, very tight show between them. So I do see that being your top. So we're looking at Jordan, Daraja, Roxana, Anya maybe. Like I said, we just haven't seen her in a bit, so that's why I say maybe on her, but she is typically in the top 5. Shelby and Jody. So the cool thing about these shows this weekend is that there's nobody that's like, oh yeah, she's definitely going to win. It's going to be tight. In every one of these shows, it's going to be tight, just like it was in Tampa. That always makes for a really close show or a really exciting show. I like seeing real intense judging, right? So there's nobody that's super dominant in any one of these divisions except for Jessica Reyes. In figure, she's the only one where it's like, oh, okay, it's gonna be her. You know what I mean? But other than that, all of these divisions, all of these competitors are all very competitive, but nobody is hugely dominant. You know what I mean? So we're not going to see somebody come in and just sweep this. And let's say that let's just say that one of these 3, that Jordan, Shelby, or Jody wins in Texas. Let's just say one of the 3 of them do. That could flip once they go to Tahoe. You know what I mean? You throw another couple of different competitors into the mix, and that automatically will change the scoring and everything too, right? Anything that I missed, anything that you guys wanted to add, any questions that you guys have on these shows coming up this weekend? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. I don't know which ones have live streams and which ones don't. I believe that Pacific USA's does not. Tahoe typically does. Texas typically does. So I would assume at least one of those, if not both, have live streams going on. I think Texas does for sure, because they've got men's bodybuilding and stuff like that too. So I'm assuming Texas is going to have a live stream. And I don't even know what time the pros are all on in each one. I'll have to pay attention to all that this coming weekend. Texas. I assume that Texas does. I assume Texas has a live stream, has a live feed. Who do you guys got for Texas? Who's your pick for Texas? For both, for wellness and for bikini. Who's your pick for Texas? Texas is gonna be a long show because they got a lot of divisions. They got a lot of men's. Men's open is big. Men's open is big in Texas. But we don't talk about men here. We don't talk about men here. Regardless, I'm excited to see both Devin and Jasmine get on stage this coming weekend. My pro performers, but about to perform, right? You think Daraja's going to redeem herself? I hope so. I hope so. You know, it always sucks to go into a show where you're like really. I know she was gunning for Tampa all year. You know, and it sucks to go into a show where you know you're not at your best. You know. D&D, Daraja and Devin. I like that. I like that for Texas. I like that. Yep. Pulling for Daraja, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people are. The thing about Daraja is that she's just very likable. You know, everybody wants her to win. So, deja vu, me and Jess. I know, right, Devin? I know, right? For real. So last year, for those of you guys that don't know, last year both Jasmine and Devin qualified for the Olympia on the same weekends because Devin took second in Tampa, which qualified her for the Olympia. And Jasmine won Pacific USA, which was the same weekend last year. So we were annoying. Me and Devin and the rest of us were all in the lobby at Tampa Pro screaming because Jasmine we were watching on my phone as Jasmine wins Pacific USA. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have a repeat of last year, right? Have a repeat of last year with both of you guys qualifying. So that's what I'm pulling for right here. Pulling for. Daraja, Devin, and Jazzy. Yes, yes, yes. So it's going to be a fun weekend though. And hopefully, you know, across the board, we'll see some new qualifications for Olympia. Now, there are some girls that are competing that are already qualified, but they're not super dominant competitors. So anything can happen. Yeah, love Daraja and Devin as well. Yes, definitely. So I think we've got like a consensus here where we want to see Jasmine, Devin, Daraja. What do we think about Tahoe? We had a lot of Shelbys for Tahoe. So yeah, we got some good ones out there. Jazzy's my baby girl, yes. For sure. But it's gonna be a fun weekend. So I'm home this weekend because I'm going to Nashville next weekend. So we do have a Sundays with Sean this coming weekend. If you're local and you need group posing, come see us this weekend. Calendar is open to book. I screwed that up at the beginning of the week. I said it was open and it wasn't. Now it is. So you can go and book. And I have a full client list and all that kind of stuff on Saturday and all that too. So we'll be busy all Saturday. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. I have in the description on YouTube the link to our posing suits, the limited edition posing suits. They're in there as well. Make sure that if you're on our YouTube that you subscribe, like, comment, turn on notifications, because if you turn on the notifications, you will be notified 30 minutes before we actually go live so that you're ready to come on live with us. I will come on live again tomorrow night since I'm home. We'll do 3 nights this week. Amazing, right? And I'll have a fun topic for tomorrow night where we can teach and learn. So be ready for that. Like I said, subscribe so that you have it. If you're here on Instagram, go to our YouTube. We do screen share over on YouTube so that you can see pictures and videos and all of that as well. I am going to have a good topic for you guys tomorrow night. Don't worry. We got one ready. And like I said, be subscribing to all this stuff too, because Cuties Conquer the Stage stuff is coming up soon as well. And if you want to work with me, as you know, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. Like I said, Nashville is our next show. I do still have openings for hair and makeup if anybody needs booking for that. That link is also going to drop down on my Instagram. I will also be there doing backstage videos and stuff too. So if you are doing Nashville, make sure you find me so I can get lots of footage of you so you can be featured all over the place, because that's what we do this for, right? The attention. We do this for the attention. And if you're going to be in Nashville and not competing, just let me know, because I'll be there until Monday, actually. I used to live in Nashville, so I'm going to see some friends while I'm there and doing a photo shoot while I'm there. Going to have some fun. So I'm excited about going to Nashville for a bit. I miss Nashville. It was a fun city. I used to live right downtown. It was so much fun. Anything else? Anything you guys? I'll leave it open for another minute if you have any questions, and then we'll shut it down. It's been on for 45 minutes tonight. 45 minutes. We did good. Last night was over an hour. So we did good tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying the new format. I actually find it a lot more enjoyable to watch with the new format. I go back and watch my own live feeds. I critique myself, you guys. I make sure that I am getting better every time I do one of these feeds for you. So I want to bring better content to you every time that I do this so that you guys are entertained and educated as well. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I got. So love the new format. Good. I'm glad. I think it's fun too to be able to go back and watch the video and see your little comments pop up on Instagram, or I'm sorry, on YouTube and everything too, to see that you were participating. I think that's awesome. So for me, it's fun. For me, it's fun to see that. And thank you guys for participating too. I appreciate that. Jazz, go get it. Yeah, go get it with that green like money suit. All right, you guys, I'm going to let y'all go for this evening. I will see you back here again tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, same place. We'll do this exact same thing again. I'll have another topic for you tomorrow night where you can learn some stuff. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'm going to end out YouTube first, and then we'll end